So, as we get into this episode, we're all talking about let's see what we can do to lose 20 pounds by 2026. For a lot of people, 20 pounds can sound massive, and then for other people, it doesn't sound big enough. And especially after bariatric surgery, I think that's where we have the biggest problem is people either think that 20 pounds is overwhelming and how to lose it, or they sit there and say, oh, I could lose 20 pounds in like 2 weeks. And the answer to both of those is kind of like you're wrong. Um, and the reason why people really are wrong on both ends is either one of two things. One is they don't realize like what it actually takes to lose 20 pounds, as well as they either go so radical with stuff like endless cardio, extreme dieting, or chasing the newest hack. But in truth, there's really no mystery on how to do it, and it's actually quite possible, especially if you're listening to this on September 11th and you wanted to lose 20 pounds between now and January 1st. The math actually says that you can do it. The psychology is actually going to tell you that you're going to try to sabotage yourself. And the anthropology is going to explain why people struggle. I'm going to show you how to beat all of it. And here's the kicker. If you start right now, you could be 20 pounds down by January 1st. But before we get started, I also want to take a moment. Today, if you're listening to this episode live, is September 11th. And this is a day that kind of hits me a little bit harder. 24 years ago, on September 9th, 2001, I was playing football. I was a senior in high school. And my goal senior year was I was going to graduate and maybe play college football as a walk-on, go to school for education, and possibly join the National Guard. That opening day game on September 9th, I tore every ligament in my shoulder. And 2 days later, I was rushed in to get an MRI on September 11th. I went into the MRI machine at 9 o'clock. And as you know, like it's a 30-minute procedure where you have to sit quietly and not move. And I had the radio, they give you a radio channel to listen to. And I listened to the entire events unfold from a breaking news flash. That also was the first time that I lost use of my right arm, and I spent close to about 6 to 8 months rehabbing my arm just so that I could move it and use it again. But September 9th, my whole life changed. I realized that I was no longer going to be an athlete ever again. And because of all the work on my shoulder, I would never be able to enter the military because I wouldn't pass the physical. When I look back, I was devastated at that time, but in 2 days from then, the entire world changed and I probably would have had to have been deployed. But, everything kind of happens for a reason. And I share that because, like September 11th, I think as we get further away from it, some people kind of forget it. I now teach high school history where kids weren't even born for September 11th. So when I first started teaching, it was kind of interesting because I would open up class and be like, where were you on September 11th? And the kids could tell you. And then each year it was a little bit more like, oh, I was 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now the kids really only know September 11th from history books. It's no different than we had a teacher who explained where they were when JFK was assassinated, where we know it's an important event, but we do not know where we were because we were not born yet. For me, though, like September 11th and then the months leading after was a time where I was in a sling, and I had to learn how to completely use my right arm again. Fast forward 24 more years later, and if you're watching on YouTube, you will see that I am in a full brace, and a lot of that is because I tore my bicep. And I had surgery about 3 weeks ago, and it looks like about another 6 to 8 months where I won't be able to use my arm. So when we look full circle at it, I looked at it as these are big challenges. But both times I was able to maintain my weight loss. And in this time, I'm even losing weight. And it's not because like I did any sort of hacks or because I took shortcuts. And it wasn't even that I lost muscle mass. And that's going to be important, especially as I talk about this one, because I am losing weight, but I am maintaining my muscle mass through it. And I'm going to explain how as the episode unfolds. But it really comes down to having rock solid habits, patterns, and behaviors that work no matter what circumstance you have. So if you're sitting there saying, how do I lose weight, even if I don't want to step into the gym? I'm going to go through exactly how to do it and what to work through